America is the greatest country in the world, and it's important we say that because most people don't believe it. It's also important that we recognize why and who fought to make sure that that remains true. Sunday was the 77th anniversary of the invasion of Normandy, D-Day. I want to talk about that in a bit here. I want to talk about some of these men, but just real quick, just so you know, our president and vice president made no mention of it on Sunday. The press secretary was asked about this yesterday. Here's what she said.
Presidents Bush, Obama, and Trump all commemorated D-Day anniversaries on D-Day, on the D-Day anniversary. Why didn't President Biden?
Well, I can tell you that certainly his value for the role that the men who served on D-Day and the memory of them, the families who have kept their memories alive over the course of years on this day is something the president has spoke to many, many times in the past. It's close to his heart, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's more we would have to say on it.
Yeah, that's just word vomit, right? That's just filling. I have to say a certain number of words for a certain amount of time in order to make it seem like I just answered your question. Now, lest you think he didn't do any tribute on D-Day because he was too busy, Biden did send out this on the 77th anniversary of D-Day. He sent out this nice tweet about transgendered kids. That was on literally June 7th. It was on the 7th. What? And to call that bravery, we seem to have lost our understanding of the word courage. Ben Shapiro wrote about this yesterday. This idea of courage has been, you guys can throw it up, this idea of courage has been watered down. And today it means simply living my truth and demanding your applause. That's courageous of me. Courage is living my truth, doing what I want, even when it's the wrong thing to do. Like there's certain times when you have society all doing the wrong thing and you think you're really doing the right thing, and society will criticize you even though you're doing the right thing. There's also times when society is doing the right thing and you're doing the wrong thing, and society is criticizing you and you take that as, I must be doing the right thing. No. Still you're doing the wrong thing. People are criticizing you because you're doing the wrong thing. Continuing to do the wrong thing is not courageous. It's foolish, it's stubborn. In many cases, selfish. In many cases, insane, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. There's one D-Day story in particular that I'll never forget. And I had the honor, it's maybe 10 years ago, to talk to a man who climbed the cliffs of Point du Hoc right before the invasion. These guys, these Army Rangers, they needed to take out these guns that were on top of these cliffs, these Nazi guns, that would have just rained down on the Allies who were storming the beaches. If they didn't take out these guns first, then there was no way. It's a miracle that this invasion ever worked at all. And if these guns, these Nazi guns, were still allowed to be on top of these cliffs, then there's no chance that this invasion would have occurred. And we were able to talk to one of these men. I mean, look at those cliffs. What do you mean climb the cliffs? That's impossible. And I asked this guy if he ever has been back. And he said, yeah, I've been back before. I said, what'd you do? He said, well, I walked to the edge of the cliffs and I looked down. And I said, there. I said, there's no way we did that. I'll never forget that. There's no way we did that, said the man who did that. But he looked at it and recognized this is an impossible task. So here's the deal. They were supposed to arrive to these cliffs in the middle of the night and silently climb up the cliffs before the Nazis could see them or were aware of what was going on. But they were blown off course. So where they landed, they had to then hike over to the bottom of the cliffs where they were actually going to climb them. And by then, the sun was coming up. So it wasn't the middle of the night. They lost their cover. Also, their ropes, their grappling hooks that they were shooting up on top of the cliffs you saw the rope ladders, they got wet. So they were really heavy. And a lot of them didn't even make it to the top of the cliff. So now, instead of it being dark with a bunch of ways up, it was daytime with few ways up. And you got the Nazis on top with machine guns firing down on them. Like, what? That's impossible. But they did it. And without it, the D-Day invasion on the beaches never would have happened. And even that shouldn't have happened. And the only reason that was even successful at all is because of this diversion tactic that the Allies used, tricking Hitler into thinking that we were ready to storm a different part of Europe. So they sent reinforcements up to this other area, and we juked them out and invaded down in Normandy. The whole thing was impossible. This breaks my heart. We've talked to, on the radio show, we've talked to so many vets over the years. Whenever I had the chance to do it, I always said yes. It was never newsy, it was never timely or urgent or trending or an anniversary, but we would talk to a World War II vet for an hour. And whenever the opportunity came up, I said, well, we have to do it because in a few years, we can't. There will be none left. At the annual commemoration, there was one man, one veteran, Charles Shea. He's 96. He was 19 on D-Day from Indian Island, Maine. It's gonna be awful when there's headlines. You know, there were only 10,000 vets at the commemoration ceremony, and then a couple of years ago, there's only 5,000 vets. Oh, there was only 1,000 vets. Oh, there was only 100 vets. This year, oh, there was only one veteran. It's believed there's only 2,500 World War II vets alive. World War II vets, not just D-Day, World War II. Very soon, we're going to hear the story of the final World War II veteran who passed away.
Wow, that was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like,
Subscribe. Get more.